we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks for participating in our little icebreaker game virtually. The first thing I kind of want to talk through is why it's such a good time to be a shocker, what we have as far as student life goes here at Wichita State. So we do have over 17,500 students on campus over our varying kind of student types that we have here at Wichita State. A lot of different ways for you to get involved. Part of our student population, we are the most diverse university in Kansas, so we have a large generation of, or population of first generation students, as well as students that come from quite a few different states throughout the United States, as well as a lot of international students. We are part of the NCAA Division I, so we're part of the American Athletic Conference. So a lot of fun games that our students have access to go to. We'll kind of talk through later, but our students do get free tickets to those athletic events that we have here on campus. Student clubs and organizations are a really great way to get involved here at Wichita State. We have over 200 student clubs and organizations right now on campus. Those kind of range from different things based on kind of what you're interested in. So if you're interested in something that's a little bit more academic, kind of geared towards your major or the program you're interested in, we have program or clubs that are associated with our academic colleges, as well as just some clubs that are fun to join to get to know other students here on campus. If you come to campus and there's not a club you want to participate in, you can always start a club. That's a really great way to kind of leave your mark here on campus and get something started that you're interested in, so that you and other students can kind of do something that you like to do. As a part of our student clubs and organizations, we do have Greek organizations. So if you're interested in joining Greek life in your college experience, we do have those opportunities as well. Intramurals and club sports are really fun, just a way to kind of stay active throughout your college experience while having a good time here on campus. So intramurals are really fun just against other Wichita State students. They happen generally here on campus or pretty close here to campus. Whereas the club sports gives you a little bit more of a competitive nature. You'll join our Wichita State club sport team, and then you do travel regionally to compete against other universities and their club sport team. So that's a fun way to kind of get out there and stay active and get to do some travel, a little bit more competitive than our intramurals. Wichita State hosts a ton of on-campus and community events, so there's generally always something going on campus that you can participate in, whether it's something that a club or organization is putting on, or our different offices here on campus will host different events. So there's generally tons of things going on for you to be a part of. As a student at Wichita State, you do get a lot of access to different resources that we have. Some of those, like I mentioned, free tickets to athletic, as well as fine arts events here on campus. So as a student, you get to go to any athletic competition or anything fine arts is hosting at no additional charge to you. So that's a really great way to go cheer on the Shockers, kind of see what everyone else has been up to. You'll also get a free YMCA membership. We do have a YMCA here on campus that you're able to utilize with that membership, but you can also utilize it at the other Wichita area YMCAs as well. You do get free access to the city bus transit that does go through campus and to different places around town, and then a free membership to Go Create, which is a maker space we have here on campus in our John Bardo Center. So that's a really great place to go and make different things. Students will make stickers and t-shirts and different things for projects or clubs they're in. So it's a really great way to get to use some kind of fun things to make different things here on campus. So that's just a little brief overview of our campus life. So now I'm going to show you a quick video of kind of what campus life and student life looks like here at Wichita State. All right, so that's just a quick look inside student life here, different things we have going on. Wichita State is growing. We've been fortunate to have our incoming classes be the largest in our university's history the last few years. So With that comes progress on campus. So we have a lot of different buildings that are new to campus, some that are still in construction here at Wichita State. So this slide kind of features some of our buildings that we have. I mentioned the YMCA. We have Woolsey Hall, which is home to our Barton School of Business that opened in fall of 2023, which kind of takes me down to our Shocker Success Center, kind of down on that right-hand side of the slide. You'll see kind of a rendering of what that building is going to be looking like. It is going to open this summer. That is Clinton Hall, as was our former college. Barton School of Business was there. But since that was Barton School of Business moved, that left that space available. So we've decided to relocate 16 different student services from across campus and put them in that one building. So it really is going to be a one-stop shop for everything our students need as far as support and services go, really centrally located on campus. So it is going to be a really great resource for our students to have that be a little bit more accessible to them. So I know we're all really looking forward to that. On our innovation campus, which is the whole eastern part of our campus, has grown tremendously in the last years. It used to be an 18-hole golf course, but that space wasn't really serving our students like the way we wanted it to. So our late president, John Bardo, kind of dreamed up this innovation campus. It's a place for our students to live, learn, work, and play. So a lot of the things we want our students to be able to do on campus, we want them to be able to do here. So that has allowed for some different buildings to be kind of renovated on campus or built on campus, as well as added. So Deloitte Smart Factory, NetApp, the Division of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms are all partnership buildings. So we've partnered with different companies to have workspace out of our campus that our students can have access to different jobs and internships at, which I'll kind of talk through a little bit more in another slide. But on our innovation campus is also Brayburn Square, which has different restaurants, as well as one of our 2 Shocker stores on it. So Social Tap and Two Hands Corn Dogs are both a really great option for our students. There's a couple other eating establishments over there as well. So it's a really great space for our students. So I kind of touched on our different partners we have here on campus. So that's really bringing applied learning to campus through partnerships. So applied learning is giving our students access to jobs and internships in their programs before graduation. We really want our students to be able to apply what they're learning in the classroom to a job or internship. And so we have partnered with all these different companies to have space on our Wichita State campus so our students can have access to jobs right here on campus. And our students have earned quite a bit in scholarship and money or funds, I guess, being paid for these different internships and on-campus jobs. So that's a really great thing that we have to offer our students. So we have a couple different ways for out-of-state students to receive discount or in-state tuition. So we have a couple different tuition discount programs for our students that are from select counties in these states are eligible for those tuition discounts or in-state tuition, depending on kind of where you're from in those areas. This is kind of comparing Wichita State to other universities' costs, really just wanting to make you all aware that Wichita State really does value keeping education affordable in Kansas and regionally. So this is just kind of a peek at kind of where we compare with others. Our president does make it a top priority to keep our costs low by working on external funding for scholarships and state support rather than having our students have to pay more. So we have had to increase our tuition very little in kind of some years in the past, but not every year, as some universities and colleges have to do. So we really try to keep that affordable for all of our students so they're able to make Wichita State their home. We do have a new virtual tour. So if you haven't been able to make it to campus, but you kind of want to check some things out, I would definitely encourage you to check out our new virtual tour at Wichita.edu/virtual tour. I am going to give us a quick peek at it though, and kind of show you kind of what it looks like. So when you go to the virtual tour, you'll kind of be welcomed kind of with our new Wichita State sign.
Welcome to Wichita State.
Oh,
While the university
Did not
has
want
been
to do
around for
that.
more than
There we go. I'm going to show you a quick peek at the YMCA. I kind of mentioned we have a YMCA here on campus. Excuse me. Can I get... So this is a quick look at our YMCA here that we have here on campus. So you can kind of see through here different ways that you can look at different parts of our campus. I know I mentioned Innovation Campus, so this is kind of a peek at that. You can see NetApp's building there, so one of our partnership buildings. This is a good way to get a look at campus before you are able to make it to campus. If you are able to kind of get a sneak peek at what campus has to offer. All right, I'll go back to our presentation. All right, so some of your next steps for joining Shocker Nation are listed here. I know we'll probably talk through some of these different things, but this is a good slide to kind of maybe take a picture of or keep in mind as we're going through the evening or as you're kind of continuing on in your process to join Shocker Nation. We are excited to have y'all join us in the fall. So that is all from me for on the admission side of things. So now I'm going to hand it over to my colleague in the financial aid office to kind of talk through financial aid.
All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Jang, and I serve as the Manager of Student Impact in the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships. Here's my face. There you go. Just because I'm a little extra, I want to get some like conversations going or just reactions. If you love money, go ahead and give me a reaction or something in the chat box. If you love money, I know I do. So okay, I see some thumbs ups and some hearts. Yay. Okay. So lucky for you, our office, we're really here to help you unlock every dollar. So definitely come by, talk to us often and throughout your college experience too, because we're here for you. And my job today is to help you understand that and really help ease your mind on the next steps, because college really is a big investment, but it's truly going to be one of the greatest that you're going to make. With this investment, though, it's important for you to understand what your finances will look like. So, with this, financial aid can supplement your family's resources to pay for college expenses. So, it's really a combination of both personal and financial aid resources that will be part of your financial aid or financial plan. So at WSU, 70%, at least 70% of students use financial aid, and even more do qualify. So one of the biggest myths that I kind of see is that sometimes students don't fill out the FAFSA because maybe they feel like they're not going to receive any aid. But that's not true, because there's so many different types of aid. There's not only is there scholarships and grants, but there's also different federal subsidized or unsubsidized loans, as well as parent loans as well. So we'll go to the next slide. And so when looking at the different ways to pay for college, we have scholarships and grants, which is going to be gift aid that is based on merit or financial need. This is going to be money that you do not have to pay back, which is great. So as you are in your senior year or you're transferring over, this is the time right now to apply for scholarships. Right now, our Scholarship Universe platform has been extended to April 1, which is great. You answer a bunch of questions. The more that you answer, the better. It's going to match you to so many institutional scholarships as well as outside scholarships as well. And the greatest thing is that you can check mark all of them and you complete it all at once too. So that's a great resource for you. So again, that is Scholarship Universe. The next way to pay for college is through work study, part-time work, or just money that you've been able to save up so far, or maybe you're working over the summer. That's another great way. We have what's called Handshake on campus to help you look for different jobs. And our office can help you understand what work study looks like as well. The next way to pay for college is through student and parent loans. This is going to be money that you do have to pay back. But with this, the federal government does offer subsidized and unsubsidized loans at lower cost than other private loans. Subsidized loans being the one that doesn't accrue any interest while you're in school. So that's a good one to look at as well. Our office can really help coach you through it and see how much is needed so you're not over borrowing. And going through all of that and learning how to pay that back as well. And then next slide. But really all that to say, we really want you to balance and really think of it as balancing costs with both personal, federal, and college contributions. So it's really a partnership between your family, the federal government, which is through the FAFSA, and Wichita State. Give me a thumbs up if you've completed your FAFSA or maybe you looked at it. And the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. Oh, good. So the FAFSA for the 24-25 school year is completely new. It's a new process, which is great too. But with a new process, we're still waiting on a few things. So if you've already completed it or if you haven't, we've extended our priority date to April 1 as well in response to the delay that we're receiving from the Department of Education. So around mid-March is when we hope to get all of the completed FAFSAs from the Department of Ed. Once we get the completed FAFSAs, we're going to run it through our system. We have a really great team that is ready for it. And we're hoping to award you your offer around April timeframe. But if you're having any hiccups with the FAFSA, make sure that you're reaching out to us. We're available for virtual appointments as well as in-person appointments. Okay, so right now this is our expected timeline. April 1, again, is our new priority date for the 24-25 FAFSA. May 1st is your priority date in terms of accepting scholarships. So once we give you your offer, you're going to have a letter as well as having it on your financial aid dashboard. Your dashboard is going to be found in your MyWCU portal when you sign in. And then under the My Finances tab, that's where you can locate your dashboard to accept any scholarships. June 1 is when we, in terms of enrolling with scholarships. So if you are receiving, like say the merit scholarship, we want you to enroll by June 1. And then July 1, if you are receiving any grants from the federal government or work study, we want you to enroll by then as well. And then around mid-July, you're going to receive your bill in your account. And your bill is going to show on the student account suite within the MyWCU portal as well. Now, if you are receiving financial aid, it's not going to apply on your bill yet until around 10 days before the start of the fall semester. So it will show estimated aid, but it won't apply yet into your account. And then we'll go to the next slide. So some things to do, definitely discuss costs early and often as a family. I can't stress that enough. We're here for you too. So in our office, we also have Shocker Financial Wellness. So if budgeting is not your forte, we have some great student workers and coaches that are here for you and helping you through that process, making sure that you meet your deadlines, making sure you're checking up on your email as well, and applying for community scholarships wherever you're at, making sure you continue applying for scholarships and saving money for your expenses in college. So don't forget, we're here for you and to help you unlock every dollar.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so we have a trivia question for you. So whoever is the first one to answer the question in the chat will win a trivia prize, and we will be mailing that to you. So I'm going to make sure everyone's ready in our chat for this scholarship drawing. So, or not scholarship drawing, trivia. Excuse me. All right. So what month will students accept scholarships in their MyWCU portal? Put it in the chat if you know. Do I have one? I think we might have got it. All right, I have admissions folks in the chat that will make sure to know who put that in there first. All right, I'm going to hand it over to folks from our one-stop office and first-year advising to kind of talk through some things that their office has for you to share tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Sloan. Hi, everyone. It's a Thursday, and we're happy to spend this time with you. My name is Monica Burkamp. I am with One Stop. I am a first-year advisor within the College of Engineering here at Wichita State, and I will allow my colleague to introduce herself next.
Hi, I am Hannah Van Orsby, and I am a first-year advisor for the College of Health Professions. But we both work in the one-stop office that also deals with lots of other general questions as well that Monica is going to talk about here in just a moment.
Yeah, Tana said we're located in Jardine, but if you remember from the admissions presentation earlier, we are moving from Jardine over to the old Clinton Hall. So by the time you guys are on campus in August, Lord willing, Allah willing, everything will be fine and we'll be moved into our new space in June 1 of this year. But so just so you are aware, we're in Jardine now, but we are moving hopefully in June to a new fancy space where nothing can go in the walls, and it'll be very, very disappointing, but it'll be fine. So one stop right here, like Hannah said, we handle all kinds of fun stuff for you guys. Even though we are first year advisors, we also handle information or questions regarding admissions, advising, financial aid, record, registration, and also student accounts. So with One Stop, think of it as there's two
First name,
different
last
sides
initial.
to One Stop. You have the first year advising portion. So if you are a high school senior right now watching this, this is where your ears or your mom or dad's ears should perk up just a bit more. You will be working with one of our advisors in first year advising here at One Stop for the first 2 semesters of your experience here at Wichita State. If you are a transfer student, first of all, welcome and thank you for considering to extend your educational experiences with us. But with first year advising, we do not work with transfer students. So just as a heads up, you will go directly to the college. So for example, if you are transferring into Wichita State and you are an aerospace engineering student, you will not meet with myself. You will meet with Angela Blackerby, the college advisor for aerospace. So if you're a transfer student right now, you can kind of zone out for just a little bit on what I'm talking about. But again, with One Stop, we handle information from admission, or we work with admissions and advising, financial aid, records, registration, and student accounts. And if we could get a click on the slide, so the students can follow along as well. Perfect. Oh, no, go back. Perfect. I wanted to point out who this person is on the slideshow. It's me. And if you all had your cameras on, you'd be laughing because yes, that is myself and one of my students. One of my international students, he's an aerospace engineer from Malaysia, Matthew Needleman. He's a great kid. But yes, nice Monica. That's myself. So next slide, if you could. First year advising. Okay, so if you're a transfer student for the next couple minutes, you can kind of zone out for just a skosh. First year students. So these are students right now who are high school seniors. If you are a high school senior, you really need to tell everyone to be quiet in the room and pay attention to what I'm saying, because this is really exactly what you're going to need to know to set yourself up for success at Wichita State for the first 2 semesters. Starting tomorrow, March 1st, you will be able to RSVP for orientation. When you RSVP for an orientation date, you will then be guided, prompted to a freshman questionnaire that will ask you questions regarding what time of day you would like your classes, what your interests are. This questionnaire is based on your major when you were admitted to Wichita State. So if you are admitted as, let's say, a dental hygiene student, your questionnaire will look a little bit different than a student who is engineering and different from a student who's a business student. So the questions on there will be kind of specific to the college that you're going into. Again, starting tomorrow, you can RSVP for orientation, fill out your questionnaire. Once you've RSVP'd for an orientation date, that questionnaire is the information from that questionnaire we are going to use here in the One Stop office to work on your schedule for your first semester at Wichita State. So gone are the days of a high school counselor enrolling you. Now it's your first year advisor going to be enrolling you based on the answers from that questionnaire. And again, that starts tomorrow, March 1st. You're able to do that. Also with this questionnaire, you will need to provide to your first year advisor ACT scores. If you don't have access to that, you need to get access to your ACT scores. You need to get access to your AP, if you've already taken AP, advanced placement, and you have those scores, and you have not sent those to Wichita State, you need to have access to those account portals that you have and send that information to us or to your first year advisor. And you'll receive information from your first year advisor once you've done the questionnaire, asking you to send us your college transcripts, your AP scores, IB, and your unofficial high school transcript. Also, I know a lot of us are, not me because I'm older, but a lot of you are taking concurrent enrollment classes. I'll pick on Bishop Carroll Catholic High School here in Wichita. If you're at Carroll and you're taking, let's say, a class English 1, but you're taking it also for college credit through Newman University, what we need to see as a first year advisor is the institution that's issuing the credit, the transcript from the institution that's issuing the credit, not Bishop Carroll, but from the institution that's issuing the credit. But again, all this stuff will be sent over to you when you do your freshman questionnaire. And again, you'll be enrolled in those. Your first year advisor will take those answers and then choose your courses for you based on your degree plan. So for engineering, I will not put you in random classes. I will put you in classes that you need for your degree. The same thing with health professions, the same thing with business, the same thing with liberal arts and sciences. We do not go willy-nilly and just enroll you in random courses. We enroll you in the classes that you need to take for your degree path. Once we've created your schedule, you'll receive notification to check your Shocker email or your preferred email to either accept the schedule, or if you have a question, why are you putting me in, Calc 1? Well, it's in your degree plan, but you can email me and you can decline your schedule if you want. Nothing is set in stone. Even when you see your schedule, let's say you accept it and you change your mind in a couple months, nothing is set in stone when it comes to your classes. Everything can be molded and changed as we go through the process. So for enrollment at Wichita State for your freshman first semester is different than probably 95% of colleges and universities in the United States. So I kind of want to make sure it's different than a lot of other schools. It is different. So if you have older siblings, and this sounds weird and wonky, it's Wichita State does. This is how Wichita State does it. It works for us, and I think it works for our students as well. Let's see. I can request changes. Yeah, we're good. Next slide, please. First year advisors. Okay, so if you are a first year student, again, high school senior, one of these lovely faces will be your best friend for the first 2 semesters of your experience at Wichita State. I handle engineering students, last names M as in Monica through Z. We are currently hiring for a first year advisor for engineering, last names A through L. But we have our assistant director, Kylie Johnson, handling those engineering students. So if you're in engineering, A through L, and you're having a panic attack now because you don't have an advisor, it's okay, you do. It's just not going to be your official advisor for the next 2 semesters. The most important thing that I want you guys to take away from our little spiel here, and I'm checking my time, I have 1 minute, my little presentation here. 1, check your Shocker email. Check your Shocker email. And also if you have your preferred email as your high school email, like mburkamp35 at USD259, that will be shut off once you graduate. So if you have that listed on your questionnaire or with Wichita State, and that gets shut off, you won't be getting your emails. So switch it over to your Gmail. Also, again, keep checking your Shocker student email as well. If you don't know how to do that, information was sent to you when you were accepted to Wichita State. It's imperative that you're checking your emails. Imperative, like that's the biggest thing I could say. And also starting tomorrow, high school seniors, you can start doing your RSVP for orientation and then get yourself a pretty little schedule for the fall semester. So I think my next, one more slide after this. If you have any questions, you can contact us. Again, Jardine 112. You should be able to access your Shocker email. I would suggest if you can't, I would say to go back to your information that you got when you were accepted to the university, the email. It will have that on there as to how to access your email.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, we have another trivia question for you all. So make sure you are ready to type it in the chat. Same thing. First one to answer the question correctly in the chat, we will mail you a prize. So I previewed it earlier, but when does the online RSVP open for orientation? Let's check the chat, see. Yes, March 1st, tomorrow. Lots of right answers. So very good. All right, we are going to transition now to our student panel. So I'm going to have our student ambassadors join us for the panel portion here. I think they are on. So we will get started and have them answer some questions. So I think I'm going to stop sharing so maybe we can see them as they talk through their questions. And come back to this. Not entirely sure who your face you'll see. So our student ambassadors, if you are here, if you are ready, you can please introduce yourselves and then we will get some questions your way.
Hi. Sorry, go ahead, Riley.
Okay, hi. Hi, I'm Riley McMillan. I am a junior here at Wichita State studying biology with minors in chemistry and health science. I'm on a pre-dental track, and I am from Concordia, Kansas, so about 2 hours north of Wichita.
Hi, my name is Bree Pfeiffer. I'm a sophomore at Wichita State studying biomedical engineering with minors in chemistry and mathematics. And I am from Lee Summit, Missouri, which is about half an hour out of Kansas City, Missouri, so about 3 hours away from Wichita.
Hi, I'm Damian Almond. I'm a freshman studying aerospace engineering, and I am from Tuttle, Oklahoma.
Hi, everyone. My name's Kaylin Richardson. I'm a second-year student here studying elementary education with minors in marketing and organizational leadership. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, or right outside there. So that's where I grew up.
Right. So I should have asked you guys to do this now, but if y'all have any questions for our student ambassadors, please put them in the chat and I'll kind of be going through them so that we make sure we are touching on the questions that you might have. So please put any of those in the chat and I will kind of keep an eye on that. But since I didn't really give you a heads up, that's my bad. Looks like we have one. Oh, looks like perfect. I will go ahead and kick us off in case they're okay. We have a question about being a biomedical engineering student and how heavy the course load is.
Yeah, so I'm a second-year biomedical engineering major. So my first year was a lot of like gen ed classes. Now that I'm getting more into my biomedical engineering classes, they're definitely a little more challenging just because they're more major specific, but I personally don't find them super difficult just because it's something that I enjoy. It's my passion. It's why I went into that field. I will say there may be like more expectations, like doing different lab reports, but as long as you like keep on top of your coursework, I would say it's nothing that students can't handle. So I mean, I find it to be something that isn't too difficult for me. But those engineering classes are just like maybe a little bit more demanding. But as long as you communicate with your professors, you won't have an issue.
Awesome. We have a question about applications for SAS and if they are open yet.
So as far as I know, applications aren't open quite yet. Nominations just need to be, or I think nominations just need to be in by tonight and then applications will open tomorrow.
Very good. Make sure to put any questions y'all have in here. This is a good question. How much studying are you expected to do outside of class time?
So you're expected to study about 2 times the amount of the credit hour is. So if you have a 3 credit hour class times 2, you should be studying for about 6 hours outside of the classroom. It definitely depends on what the class is, what maybe your homework looks like for that class, what your major looks like. I would say for some of my classes, I do very little studying outside. But for other classes, like I'm in organic chemistry right now, that's a lot of studying outside of the classroom. So it really depends on how much maybe you're understanding or just kind of what you feel like you need to do.
Awesome. We have a couple jobs or questions about on-campus jobs. So kind of talking about, is it fairly easy to get an on-campus job if it's not work study, and what are some on-campus jobs that are available for students?
Yeah, so I do not qualify for work study. So all of my on-campus jobs that I have, I found either through friends. We also have a great platform called Handshake. So for me personally, I work as a shocker navigator. So I give tours here on campus. And I also work with our events and marketing team in the admissions office. So I'm a student assistant with that. So those were all found for me personally through word of mouth, through my organizations, and then also just through other jobs that I've had. So Handshake is a great place to start. You'll upload your resume, answer a couple questions about GPA, your areas of interest, stuff like that. So they can pair you with jobs that are going to be a lot more tailored to what you want to achieve, what your goals are, and things like that. So definitely check out Handshake, make those connections with peers and professors, because things like research assistants, you may get paired. You could look into like a research assistant with professors or things like that. So word of mouth connections and Handshake are some great opportunities to take advantage of.
Awesome. Did any of you change your major other than kind of what you were thinking of you were maybe going to do when you were in high school, or maybe just kind of change an idea of what you think you might want to do even throughout your time here at Wichita State? Kind of talk through that process.
Yeah. I did change my major. I began as a forensic science student. I knew that I wanted to do something with STEM. And although I realized that maybe forensic science was not going to be the career for me, I did some shadowing of dentists and orthodontists in the area. And that gave me the perspective to see that that is what I want to do with the rest of my life. And I absolutely love that. And that is what persuaded me to change my major, but it is still STEM. So.
Awesome. What is the balance like between school workload and job scheduling and maybe other things that you want to do as a student, like clubs and organizations? How do you all kind of manage your time and balance that? What does that look like?
I have found it personally that my last semester classes had a heavier workload, and that was much different than what I was used to in high school. But this semester has gotten a little easier, so it will just depend on the classes you sign up for, and you should look into picking out classes that you know would balance for you. Like, I struggle with physics a little more personally, so getting physics classes along with my easier like gen eds made would make my workload less.
Awesome. I have a question about maybe being homesick or kind of missing home, coming to a new place for college experience. So how did you all kind of deal with that? And maybe talk about how you got involved at Wichita State to maybe help kind of with your transition to coming to college.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so for me, oh, go ahead, Brady.
Oh, I'm sorry. For me, homesickness was definitely something that I dealt with a lot my freshman year. I kind of just had to like make myself leave my dorm and like make friends. A lot of my friends I did make through the Student Ambassador Society and my other like student organizations. So finding something that you have a passion in and connecting with other people who have that same passion is a really great way to kind of like feel at home in Wichita, just by getting to know some other people who are probably going through the same thing. And then I also just like keep in touch with my parents. I call my parents probably every night or every other night at this point, even now. But I think staying involved is the best way. We also do have counseling and prevention services on campus at the Student Health Center. It's just $10 a session. You can always go there to talk about homesickness, the workload. I personally think that everyone can benefit from counseling. So I've utilized that resource and it's helped me a lot.
Perfect. Kaylin, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I think she covered it.
Okay, awesome. Just wanted to make sure. We kind of talked workload a little bit, but what is homework load like compared to high school? Kind of what does studying look like for your different classes?
So it'll definitely kind of depend on maybe your strong suits or your major. So for me personally, I'm an education major, and then I did double minor in some areas that I never really got involved with in high school. So kind of business side of things, and then some leadership classes. Because I have a passion with working for kids, I love education, the educational psychology side of things. Those classes for me are a little bit easier, so that workload maybe yeah, it might be a little bit heavier, but I can get through it a little bit quicker. But for some of my upper level marketing classes that I'm taking, for my minor that I'm not super well versed in, it does take a little bit more studying. Like my math classes, I'm not super math oriented. So again, a little bit more studying. And I also, Wichita State provides free tutoring sessions along with supplemental instruction for courses that are nationally recognized as a little bit more rigorous, a little bit more challenging. So making it a priority for me to attend either tutoring or supplemental instruction does add a little bit more to like my studying time or things like that. But it does pay off. So as long as you kind of keep up on that coursework, utilize the resources that we provide you for free, it'll get easier eventually. At first, it kind of might be a little bit of a shock. You might have a little bit more homework than you're used to. But as time goes on, it does get a little bit easier.
I have found personally that the homework load isn't as consistent as high school. I've described it to a few people like a roller coaster. You have busier weeks some weeks, and then others you have next to nothing to do, so you have to entertain yourself. But I've found the more you work with your time management, the more you can keep it consistent where you have more time for yourself. So I would try to make it a priority at some point to go over your time management skills and see where you could improve to help yourself.
Awesome. If we don't get to your question in the chat, we'll try to have somebody from our admissions team answer it. But I have one last one that I think it's a good one to end on. And it is, what are your favorite things to do when you're not studying or in the dorms? On campus or maybe in the Wichita area even?
Especially in between my classes, I like to just find little fun spots to hang out on campus. Maybe catch up on homework, but also just to kind of like relax. Sometimes I'll hang out with friends. The Radigan Student Center is a really great place for that. They have different restaurants, and it's a good place to kind of sit and relax. I also like to go to the Honors College because it's a quiet space just for me to kind of clear my head in between classes. And then I also like the restaurants on Braywood Square after Student Ambassador Society. Sometimes we'll go over to Fuzzy's Taco Shop. We always have a great time there. I like to get boba with my friends, walk around the mall. Yeah, there's things to do. I kind of just keep it a little bit simple and find some quiet time in my apartment when I can.
Awesome. I saw one last question that I think we have time for if somebody wants to answer it that might be good to touch on is some different clubs y'all might be involved in, and how did you join or hear about clubs? So how do you kind of know about what's going on campus? How can you join and get involved?
Yeah, we're all obviously a part of the Student Ambassador Society. I'm also on the exec team serving as president of that. I am in the Pre-Dental Student Association serving as treasurer. I'm in the American Chemical Society. I've recently been invited to the Mortarboard Honor Society. So I'm pretty heavily involved. And with that, it kind of depends how I got into some of these clubs. Like for SAS, I was nominated and I applied, interviewed, and I was accepted in. But for other things like the American Chemical Society, I just walked into a meeting one day and I liked it. I liked the group and I joined. So you just kind of can see like people through the RSC might be tabling for their clubs, and that's just a great way to kind of get involved all around campus.
Awesome. All right. I know I said it like 2 questions ago, but is there any parting wisdom y'all want to share with the folks that we have here tonight? Anything we didn't cover that you want to make sure you all share as a student here at Wichita State?
Just lean into that discomfort. There's going to be times where it's going to be new, and you might not quite know what to do. But again, there's so many resources to utilize here on campus, and almost all of them being free. So just lean into that discomfort. You're going to get through it. You have other peers with you going through very similar situations. So in the end, it's all going to work out. But just kind of keep that in mind that things are going to change, and that's okay.
One big piece of advice I was given is the moment you feel yourself falling behind in a class, ask the teacher for help. They're more than willing to help you. They love figuring out where you're struggling and help you through all of your problems.
I did see a couple people that had different questions about applying for Student Ambassador Society, so I just want to let you know. Tonight's last night for nominations. You can nominate yourself if you haven't been nominated, but you'd like to apply. Applications will open tomorrow, and you should get an email if you have been nominated. And then just for general college advice, be sure to give yourself grace. It's going to be a tough time. It's going to be a little bit of a transition, or not a tough time, sorry, but it will be a transition. Things are going to feel tough, but you have so many resources at your disposal. So just be sure to remember that you're human. You might make mistakes along the way, but that's all just part of growing as an individual and as a student.
Awesome. Well, if y'all can help me by thanking them in the chat for their time. Our student ambassadors volunteer their time to come to different events to chat with students. So they really do love Wichita State and love sharing their experience with everyone. So really appreciative of them taking time out of their busy schedules and their evening to join us to answer some of your questions. If we didn't answer your question in the chat, we will hopefully get that answered by one of the admissions folks in the chat here tonight to help answer those questions. All right, I'm going to transition and have housing join us. Suzanne's here to kind of talk through housing with y'all, so I will turn it over to her.
Awesome. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Suzanne Reimer. I'm with Housing and Residence Life, and I'm really excited to share with you about the living spaces that we have to offer at Wichita State. So you can go ahead, Sloan. Alrighty, so a quick glance at housing. Currently, we have just under 1,400 students living in our 3 unique communities. We have our student staff members living throughout our floors. So we have our resident assistants, we have lots of office assistants, as well as housing ambassadors. So these are all students who work for housing, and they're living on our floors as resources for students. We also have 30 full-time staff members, give or take a few, but 3 of these actually do live on campus as well. There we go. So students live on campus for a variety of reasons. I would say the biggest one that I hear about is convenience. But the thing we like to point out is that there is a higher academic performance to students who live on campus. And I think this really relates to just a lot of the resources that students have access to. It's really conveniently located. So all of these resources and these offices that we're talking about tonight are right in your backyard. I think a really big part of our on-campus housing is just the social and personal development that students grow through in their first year, especially. It's the first time that you're away from your mom and dad and your family, and there's lots of opportunity to grow and to be a part of a community that is just a little bit different than you, and really just grow into an adult. There's really high security and safety on campus. We have our University Police Department right here on campus, and it's a full force police force. They go through the exact same training as city officers and state officers as well. So they are equipped and they are so close to us. Also in the dorms, we do have a full-time staff member awake at every hour of the day. So during the work day, of course, we're all here. But then at night, we do have an overnight reception team who are there for, emergency situations, just general questions that students may have, and really any sort of help that we can do for you. So, and yeah, just the support that you receive on campus is just really great. It's there for you all the time. All right, we'll go ahead into the next slide, Sloan. So now I'm going to jump into our 3 buildings. Shocker Hall is our oldest building on campus, or our oldest dorm building on campus. It was built in 2014, and it's home to about 800 Shockers. There are 1 to 2 bathrooms per suite that are shared throughout, but we don't have any community bathrooms on our campus. We do have community laundry rooms in Shocker Hall. They are located in C building, but they're located on every single floor. And the laundry rooms are free. So our laundry is free. There's no need to join or to bring rolls of quarters to college because all of our laundry is included, no matter which building you live in. At Shocker Hall, we have the dining hall attached to the east side of our building, and also a coffee shop called the Ground House. So that's a really convenient location for students to go grab their food, as well as snacks and coffees at the Ground House and other items. Our front desk here is open 24 hours a day, and all of our living learning communities are a part of Shocker Hall. So if you have opted into a living learning community, you'll be living here at Shocker Hall. I included a couple of our most common layouts. You can find on our website all of the different layouts for rooms that we have, and there are just a lot of them. So these are our most common. The one on the left is called the double 2-bedroom suite. Double refers to a shared bedroom, so you and 1 other person share the bedroom space. There is a half wall, but then you have 2 closets, 2 sinks, and then a bathroom. And then on the other side, it's a mirror image. And then you and 3 other people then share that bathroom in the middle. And then on the right side, a single 4-bedroom suite. You walk in and you're in like a living room. There are 4 bedrooms with locking and closing doors. There's 2 bathrooms and 2 vanities and just that common space that you share among that area. Righty. And then our next building is the Suites. It's our other first-year building. It's located closer on our innovation side of our campus, so our newer side. It was built in 2019, and there are about 220 bed spaces here. The Suites is a much smaller community, but it definitely has just some different perks. Lots of our rooms here are these single rooms. So on the left side of the screen, you can see our floor layouts. This is a single 2-bedroom. So the bedrooms themselves are 1 student per bedroom. And then you share the kitchenette, the living room, the laundry, and the bathroom area with 1 other person. Each suite does have a kitchenette. The washer and dryer is included in the bathroom. And then one thing to note about the suites is all of the beds here are full size, not twin XL. And these are located right next to the flats and also have a 24-hour desk. The flats is our upperclassmen housing. So upperclassmen, it's sophomores, juniors, seniors, and graduate students. Transfer students, if you're coming in, this is where you would live. Especially if you're, 19 years and older. But this is where we would put our transfer students. I saw that. Let's see, we have about 400 bed spaces here. And the main difference between the suites and the flats is that our flats have full kitchens in them. And the suites just have that kitchenette, which does still include a microwave and a fridge, but our upperclassmen get a full kitchen. Each bedroom does have a private bathroom. And many of our rooms here are shared, but there are some single rooms here as well. You can see in the far right bedroom, That would be a full-size bed. You see in the middle bedroom and the left bedroom on that floor plan that those are 2 twin XL beds in there. That's a shared space, but each room does have a bathroom. We have a clubhouse recreation area here, and then we do have an underground or a surface parking lot. One thing I did want to mention was that somebody asked if we do provide housing over the summer and if that's included in your regular academic year contract. So we do offer summer break housing, and all of our summer residents do live here at the flats, but it does cost extra. So the academic year 24-25 or the academic year 24-25, let's see. Am I still frozen? Okay, I'll keep going. Sorry if I froze. So the contract doesn't include summer as it is, but you can sign up for summer as well. Every year our summer contract opens, or our summer application opens on March 1. And we take all of those applications all the way through. So you can sign up for summer housing if you're interested in that. Our living learning communities, I did mention earlier, they're all housed at Shocker Hall. This is a really cool opportunity for, especially for incoming students, to get to know others that have a similar interest to them. All of our current living learning communities for this next academic year are academic based. So we have our business, engineering, pre-med, College of Applied Studies, fine arts, health professions, and honors. And then our newest one is our liberal arts and sciences living learning community. So you get to connect with students with that similar interest. You get to network with faculty and community members in those fields, which you'll find out really quickly that is an amazing opportunity. You might earn internships and job opportunities that you wouldn't otherwise get. And so it's really cool opportunity for students to get to know people outside of their age group too. And then we also have exclusive events for living learning community students. So I mentioned that we have our Shocker dining hall. So all freshmen will choose from an unlimited dining plan. So that looks a lot of ways. So Shocker, or the unlimited dining plans have unlimited access to the dining hall. That's right there at Shocker Hall. That means you can go in there 12 times a day if you wanted. So you could go in there in the morning and grab breakfast before class. And then you could run off to class and come back and grab a snack. And every single time you swipe in, it's not a meal swipe, it's just a count. So you have as many meal swipes as you want. You could go in there for a mid-afternoon snack and then go back for dinner at 5:30. So it's a really cool thing that we have. The thing that's different between all of our meal plans for freshmen is the amount of dining dollars that you get. And so it should be $700, $250, and $400, I believe, per semester. So dining dollars are used at places like the Ground House, all of our Redigan Student Center restaurants, so Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, and Freddy's. And then the Shocker Sports Grill and Lane is a newer option to use dining dollars at. And then over at Woolsey Hall, we do have a little cafe that serves coffee and lemonades and different snack items. So all of those places are places that you can get something to eat and you can use dining dollars. One question that I wanted to hit on real quick from Dana, she said that you guys ask, can you have your very own suite and not have to share? At Shocker Hall, we currently don't have any single one-bedroom suites. At the suites, we have a few of them available. They are pretty hard to get just because it's first come, first serve. So we have, it's called that single one bedroom. Basically, on the floor plan, it's just like one bedroom, a kitchenette, living room, and laundry. So we do have about, I think, 15 in the building, in the whole building of the suites. So it is an option, but you'd have to get in pretty quickly at room selection time. So what shockers do, we kind of hit on this a little bit, just with all of the events happening on campus. We do have residence hall wide events, so we do lots of building events. I think they just did one for Valentine's Day that was friendship bracelets and mocktails, and just lots of fun things like that. Let's see, we have floor events, so maybe your RA would plan an event specifically for your floor. Our living learning communities have events that are planned by your RA as well, and sometimes your advisors. We have shocker athletics right in our backyards. We have intramural sports if you're interested in playing, and all the student organizations that you could ever imagine. So, let's see, the application process for 2024-25 is now live. It's been open since October. So if you haven't applied, go ahead and log on to your MyWCU portal and complete your application today. It does require a $75 application fee and a $200 prepayment. But once you're done with that, the next step will be room selection. And that'll happen here in a couple of months. Tomorrow is actually our next early bird deadline for new students. So if you want to be in the second pool of people to go through room selection, you'd want to apply on or before March 1st tomorrow. And then the next phase of our application, for those of you who maybe applied back last semester, it is open for you. You can go in and complete your personal profile, get matched with potential roommates. And then if you do know some other shockers going to Wichita State, you can actually make your roommate group now. And then room selection begins at the end of March to early April, just depending on when you applied. Let's see. I think there was a couple of questions. Did the application or deadline already close for living learning communities? It is not completely closed. We will be taking those through the week before room selection, but if you are very set on being in a living learning community, you can contact our office and we can get you in one. We, love our living learning communities, and it's a really great opportunity. So if you aren't able to get in through your application, we can get you added as long as there's space in that living learning community. How are roommates chosen? It's different for everybody. So if you know somebody going, of course, you can match up with them already. You don't have to make a roommate group to go through room selection. You can just go by yourself and pick a room, and but you can also, through that roommate or through your personal profile, you'll start getting matched with other people who have some similarities to you. Through our application, you can actually message other people, maybe exchange some contact information, and then you can make a roommate group with them if you want to. So really depends. I know events like this, events that admission puts on through the rest of the semester, those are all really great places to meet potential roommates. So just kind of be social when you're at these events and get to know others. So. And if you have any questions, our contact information is on the slide. And then I'll be in a breakout room here in a little bit and you can come ask.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, we have another round of trivia coming your way. So have a trivia question again. Whoever answers with the correct answer first in the chat will win a prize and will be mailed to you. So when does room selection begin for students? End of March, beginning of April. It's kind of what we heard. So I will let our admissions folks, they're streaming it, and decide who was the first to answer that question. All right, I want to let you know about an event that we have coming up. It's WSU. It's an event basically for you to kind of create a day to kind of meet the needs of where you're at in the process. You'll have different opportunities to do different things, kind of choose your own adventure kind of per se for this event. So if you're interested in coming to campus again, or for the first time maybe, and taking part in some of these different things that we have listed here, WSU is a really great opportunity to meet students, other students that are excited about coming to Wichita State, but also to kind of finish up some of those things that you might just want to be able to do in person while having somebody here to help with that. So if you kind of want to check out a little bit more information about that event, Wichita.edu/WSU, YOU, you can learn a little bit more about that event and register there. So we would love to see you. I believe I have kind of a closing video and then another slide, and then we will kind of move on to the next portion of our evening. All right. That's kind of the end of the presentation portion. There's a lot of different ways to stay connected with Wichita State after our event tonight. So here are some of those ways listed on the slide. So this is another good one to take a picture of if you kind of want to stay up to date with different kind of pieces of information, kind of different ways to find information as you're kind of finishing up your process to join Shocker Nation. But I'm going to stop sharing so we can move into our scholarship drawing portion of the evening. So I believe Quinn with our office is ready for that. So I'm going to let her kind of take over and do the scholarship.
Yes, I'm gonna share my screen. Can everyone see this okay? You can see the wheel. Yes, I see head nods. Thank you so much. I did my best to spell everyone's name right, but don't you worry. We have all of your names spelled correctly. I have it written in front of me. So if you win, no worries, but just excuse my typos if there are any. So I am going to spin the wheel. Oh. Oh. Conky, congratulations. I'm gonna snippet this page real quick. So, yay, so cute. Okay, now I'm going to stop share. Congratulations. I will write your name down. We will get everything figured out on our end for that scholarship on your profile. So congratulations.
Yay, congratulations. At this time, that's kind of the end of the presentation portion. So you all are welcome to stick around. We are going to have financial aid one stop and housing all kind of in a breakout room. So if you have any questions about anything they talked about tonight, or just want to get some more information before you leave for the evening, we will kind of transition to breakout rooms. If you feel like you got all the information that you needed, or you need to get on with your evening, that is totally fine. You're more than welcome to exit the meeting at this time. We are so thankful for everyone that joined us tonight. Hope you learned a lot and had a good time with us. It was fun to have you, but at this time we'll kind of transition into those breakout rooms so that you all are able to get some questions answered that may be